Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. Welcome back. So does WWE have an issue creating brand new superstars? I've been seeing some posts on Facebook, seeing some posts on YouTube, and seeing some fans kind of just, talk about WWE having a issue creating brand new stars. What about the stars we have that are new, are fresh faces? Let's talk about it.
Yeah, what? Wrestling in the ring, thoughts that always bring. Talking all about the moves and our grooves. Wrestling talks and thoughts we never forgot. Slamming down the truth in our booth. Conversations in the air with flair and care. Legends of the past, memories that last. Wrestling talks and thoughts, connecting the dots. From high flyer to submissions, we make our missions. From Raw to SmackDown, we wear the crown. NXT to AEW, we bring the view. Wrestling talks and thoughts in our slots. Fans united, always excited. Wrestling talks and thoughts in our spots.
So, what I want to talk about is pretty much WWE developing brand new talent, right? And some fans have been voicing their displeasure online about WWE creating new talent. And we've been seeing, I guess, in their eyes, the same old faces. And there's nothing new or nothing fresh about what we have now, right? And I find that to be quite interesting, especially with WWE having NXT. And then a lot of fans have an issue, I guess, with the fact that um, there's nobody who's like homegrown out of WWE who's now being pushed in the forefront. And I just find it weird. Like fans are just like jumping very quick to conclusions and not looking at just the fact that this is great talent right now that actually is in the forefront of holding the world titles, right? Or holding these titles. You have Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair, who are, developed from WWE, who hold on to the tag titles. And, it's just kind of weird, like how fans are just looking at things from a perspective of because they're not liking some of the booking that's happening or liking the booking. And they're looking at just the people who are holding on to the titles that WWE is not creating any new talent, right? Jay Cargill is considered new talent to WWE and considered a star with WWE. Why? Because in AEW, she was fairly popular, but not as popular as she is now with WWE. A lot of fans have to remember that, you have WWE being the big leagues, and AEW is pretty much the smaller leagues, the minor leagues, right? You have the NBA, and then you have overseas. They have their basketball leagues and their championships, but nothing compares to the NBA, right? There's nothing that compares to the NBA. And that's what the WWE is. So their development of new talent, we are seeing it in the likes of Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed. I would even consider Jade Cargill because Jade Cargill is now on a bigger stage than she was with AEW. Even though AEW is a big platform that can get your name out there, and they are on a broadcast cable network channel where you can view them, and a lot of wrestling fans do see them. It doesn't mean that she is as big as she could have been, or any superstar in AEW is as big as they could be on in AEW because AEW doesn't get the amount of press that WWE gets, even though they are getting press. So I'm not negating that. They are getting press, but WWE is considered the big leagues, right? But of course, you guys are just saying, like, okay, what about a wrestling performer who came from complete obscurity, went through NXT, got placed on the main roster, and now everybody loves him and likes him, right? What about us getting that? Well, we have that in the form of, as I mentioned before, Braun Breaker, right? We have that in the form of Gunther. We have that in the form of Bronson Reed, who's now being developed. And we have Live Vicaria, who's pretty much being developed. I think she still needs a little bit of work, but they're doing everything that they can to have her run her feud with Becky Lynch to make her a star, to, of course, have somebody on an up and coming feud with the biggest star to show them the ropes of what it's like to have a main event, run or main event feud. Like they have the feud with bigger stars to kind of get that rub. Sometimes they do that. That's what helps them, or one of the things that can be used. But I don't see WWE having that problem with creating fresh new talent. I never seen WWE have an issue with creating fresh new talent, and they can. I don't know why fans are saying that Triple H can't create new talent. Like Gunther was just a world heavyweight champion about a few months ago. Like Damian Priest was world heavyweight champion a few months ago. Now Damian Priest, eh, Gunther on the other hand, yes, right. Braun Breaker, they're still taking their time with Braun Breaker because they need to pull the trigger on him when it's right. Some fans even want LA Knight to be that new champion or that new face. But one could argue that LA Knight is someone who wrestled in TNA and he's not considered homegrown talent from WWE, right? But the truth of the matter is before you had TNA, before you had AEW, you had wrestlers who would wrestle in the Deep South or wrestle for other promotions in Canada or wherever it was, and they were well known in those regions, right? And when they came to WWE, Vince McMahon would make them a star. Let's take Flair for instance. Ric Flair. Ric Flair was in NWA, uh, formerly known as WCW, but it was NWA first before it became WCW. It was called the National Wrestling Alliance, and that's where Ric Flair wrestled, and he was a star over there. Ric Flair's name didn't become as big until he came over to WWE and he started wrestling and he became world champion and they made him a bigger star because WWE had a bigger audience. They were more mainstream, right? So I think WWE is developing fresh talent. Trick Williams is only a few months away, maybe a year away from being called up to the main roster. I feel like they're still developing him. They're trying to get his mic skills together because Trick Williams is not the best on the mic. He's pretty good in the ring. And that's the reason why Mello was brought up to the main roster before Trick Williams because Mello had that comfortability. He had that natural charisma about him that Trick Williams didn't have when it comes to communication. We also have Mello, right? Carmelo Hayes. Carmelo Hayes is another young star that they're going to develop and push. But again, these things take time, right? These things have to take time in them developing their young stars and see who is going to be the guy or who are going to be the people that's going to blossom in the midst of these storylines and these feuds. Who is the person that fans are going to cling on to and clamor to who's young and fresh, right? Who can we put out there and see who the fans gravitate to, or who can we push to see who the fans can cling on to? And that's going to take time, especially with the fans wanting the likes of LA Knight to hold a world title, Drew McIntyre to hold a world title. Fans wanted CM Punk to hold the world title. Fans want Cody Rhodes to hold the world title, right? And when you got like these four people who the fans want to hold the world title, and then you have Braun Breaker who you want to hold the world title, and fans are in the need of having all these different superstars hold the world title, that can create some kind of confusion when the fans just don't relax and enjoy the programming. I think that is sort of the problem is the fact that fans are not enjoying the programming as they should and just trying to do all the booking for the people who are booking in the back. Now, the problem that's happening right now in the state of WWE is that social media is taking over the decision making of WWE, and they should avoid that. They should have an ear to it, but should avoid it in some capacity, right? The reason why I say that they should avoid it, let me just go with the bad and then go on to the good. The reason why I think they should avoid it is because if the fans start controlling the product completely, then when it comes to the creative storylines that they want to flesh out and develop, those will be hindered because you want a certain superstar to get a championship, right? And whatever plans they had for one superstar to work in a great storyline that would have worked and would have been interesting on TV, we now drop this storyline because we taking this title off this superstar to give it to another superstar who y'all think is more popular. And then when the fans get tired of this guy, then they want it to jump over to another person, right? That's the bad side of it. The good side of it is that when we had WrestleMania, TKO was trying to book The Rock versus Roman Reigns, and fans was like, no, we want to see Cody Rhodes complete his story. Don't have us go along on this journey for all this time to get to a pivotal moment or a pivotal point, and then you turn around and just spin it in another direction. Like, let's see this all the way to the end. And when fans, voiced their displeasure online and on Twitter, that's when we got Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 41. And that's when fans voicing their displeasure actually worked in our favor. But it should not be to the point where fans are completely running the programming. And they did it with Jay by not allowing him to win the world title because CM Punk didn't need another world title. It's cool to see CM Punk with the world title, even though I think Jay Uso could have used the world title push again and then have them work on Jay Uso's character. But because fans wanted to see somebody that was more likable with the title, they went with CM Punk, right? And it was audible because WWE is taking pride in making the fans happy, but at the same time trying to give you great programming. And fans' opinion, it matters. The fans' opinion matters, but it shouldn't matter to the point where WWE is completely influenced holistically by it. Like, not at all. So, as far as new talent being developed, we have to let WWE book and develop that talent. And fans need to be more vocal on who they like and just stick with who they like and not try to complain so much about the stories. I mean, well, I can't say not try to complain because if you don't like something, you don't like something. So, and we didn't like wrestling, or a lot of us fans didn't like wrestling for a lot of the late 2010s. Man, like it was terrible. Like you had John Cena and his terrible Boy Scout image just stinking up programming for a very long time. And it was until we got CM Punk and Daniel Bryan and the Shield that things started to feel better, and the New Day, that they really just made that era feel a lot better because we had better superstars at the time. But as far as WWE developing fresh talent, we're going to get fresh talent. Of course, uh, we're going to see new people at the top. And not only that, but we just got Gunther with the World Heavyweight title. Him, losing the World Heavyweight title a few months ago. So it was like, yo, let Gunther have his run. Let them build up to the point where we can have Braun Breaker get his title. We don't know what WWE is doing with Braun Breaker at this moment, but what they're doing is they're trying to be careful about how they book them. So, as far as WWE booking new superstars, I don't think they have a problem booking new superstars at all. I think they do a real good job of doing it, and I can't wait to see who Triple H keeps pushing to the moon or who he decides to push to the moon, because they just made a new superstar with Jay. Like, Jay was a tag superstar, but now he is a singles superstar, right? So he is a fresh superstar in a sense that he has reinvented his character. He reinvigorated his character, brought new life, breathed new life into his character. And that's something that we don't see too often in wrestling, right? So, what do you guys think in the comment section below? Do you think WWE has a character development problem with Triple H at the helm of being the top booker? Do you think WWE has a issue creating new stars? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Can't wait to hear from you guys. I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.